Well. Here we are, folks. The Real ID deadline is fast approaching, May 7th, 2025. And if you haven't started the process of getting yours, it's time to panic. But hey, you're not alone. Many states are still scrambling to get their act together. Let's dive into the chaos, shall we? I am beginning to wonder if I am the only person who sees what is going on here. It's almost like a political science experiment gone wrong. Red states? Well, they're practically handing out real IDs at the state line. While the blue states? Well, after 18 years, they are still trying to figure out what a real ID even is. And yeah, I just said that the powers that be in this country have known for 18 years that this was coming. The Real ID law was passed in 2005. I'm just saying, you can draw your own conclusions on that one. Considering all the issues surrounding voter suppression and the battles that are being fought just to ensure people with any amount of melanin in their skin can still vote, our elected officials should have spent less time posing in front of cameras and more time educating themselves and their constituents about the importance of securing a real ID. I keep saying that we keep electing people into office who are more concerned about their own self-interests instead of the best interests of the people who elected them into office. I am going to say what no one else will. Democrats, y'all fumbled the ball on this one. As far as MAGA goes, we owe a special, and I do mean special thanks to some disastrous decisions made by the Supreme Court to gut the Voting Rights Act of 1964 like a fish. We especially owe Clarence Thomas, the self-loathing. I hate the people who live in the same black skin I do. Briefcase-carrying public school student who was taunted by bullies every day. Stooge, who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in Savannah, Georgia. Justice, who enjoys inflicting pain on other people. At any rate, I could go on, but I will save my venom for Clarence for another day. As it stands, there are 28 states that currently sit at less than 70% compliance in regards to the number of people who actually have a real ID. For those of you who are missing the point in all of this, that percentage is greater than 1/2 of the country. Only 17% of the state-issued IDs in New Jersey are real IDs. Maine and Washington both report that they currently sit at 27%. Pennsylvania sits at 26%. New York is at 43%. And California is at percent compliance. In comparison, the states that are touting compliance rates that exceed 90% include Georgia, Colorado, Florida, South Dakota, the District of Columbia, Maryland, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Texas is sitting at 98% compliance, Vermont at 92%, Hawaii is at 96%, Utah is 96% compliant, and even Mississippi is 97% compliant. Look at the numbers. Do we see a pattern here? South Dakota, the home of the puppy-killing governor turned Trump's United States Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, had no interest in protecting her citizens from dying from COVID, but yet she dug deep to make sure her state is compliant when it comes to real IDs. Am I the only person who finds this odd? I am thinking that since there has been such a huge push to require people to present a state-issued ID when they go to the polls to vote, it would not be a long stretch of the imagination to assume the next move on the chessboard is to require that all voters will need to present a real ID at the polls moving forward. Think about it. The red states have done the work, while the majority of the states that normally vote blue have not. If you choose to sit back and wait and see how all of this will turn out, you need to understand that you will become a main contributor of the complete destruction of what is left of our fragile democracy. If we can't turn this thing around, the right to vote to select who you want to be led by will become a thing of the past. We are dangerously close to this becoming our reality. Now you just sit for a moment and let that sink in. Make plans to take action now, and I do mean right now, because all of our futures depend upon everyone doing their part. Here's a list of items you'll need to take to your Department of Motor Vehicles to obtain your real ID. Proof of identity, birth certificate, U.S. passport, or permanent resident card. Proof of Social Security number, Social Security card, W-2, or pay stub with your full Social Security number. Proof of U.S. citizenship or lawful status, U.S. passport or birth certificate. 2 proofs of address, utility bills, bank statements, or lease agreements. Please note that you will need a long-form birth certificate. The cute little wallet-sized version no longer cuts the mustard. If you don't have a long-form birth certificate, you can obtain one by going to the Department of Public Health in your county and requesting a copy from the Vital Records Department. Remember, requirements can vary by state, so check your local DMV's website for specifics in regard to the types of documentation you need before going. With the deadline just around the corner, now is not the time to sit on your hands and do nothing. As you and I know, some of us have to actually see fire and actually feel the heat before we recognize we're in danger. A house filling up with enough smoke to choke a goat is not enough motivation for some of us. In this situation, if we play with fire, we are going to get burned. Expect long lines and potential delays at DMVs nationwide. So channel your inner overachiever and grab a few snacks and a friend or two and go get your real ID before May 7th. Trust me, the future you will thank you. This is Sensible Sue signing off. Stay sensible out there.